You want to get stronger, but you know that protein is expensive. You see the fancy steaks, the fresh salmon, and the giant tubs of protein powder at the store that can cost $40 or $50. It can make you feel like building muscle after 60 is a luxury you can't afford. But what if I told you that you could create a full week of powerful muscle-building meals for less than the cost of one of those tubs of protein powder? Today, we are not just giving you a list of cheap foods. We are giving you a 7-day plan to get stronger without breaking the bank. Welcome back to Healthier Daily, the channel where we give you the simple science-backed truths to live a stronger and more independent life after 60. I'm your host, Dr. Ben Carter. And to guide us through this smart and thrifty approach to strength, we are joined by a physician who has always championed the power of simple, humble nutrition over expensive fads. It is our great honor to welcome Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara.
Thank you for having me, Ben. True strength does not come from a fancy, expensive package. It comes from consistent and wise nutrition. The strongest seniors I have known throughout my long life have often been the most frugal. They do not buy expensive products. They eat simple, powerful, whole foods that have nourished humanity for centuries.
And that is exactly what our guide is about today. Dr. Hinohara is going to walk us through his 7-day thrifty muscle building plan. We have structured this guide by the meals of the day to make it very easy for you to follow. We'll cover the best, most affordable foods for your rebuilding breakfasts, your quick and powerful lunches, and your recovery dinners and snacks. And at the very end of the video, he will give us a simple guide for your weekly planning and meal prep. It is a blessing to know that the most nourishing foods for our bodies are often the most humble and affordable. If you are ready to get stronger without spending a fortune, please type the number 1 in the comments below. And be sure to subscribe to our channel. It's completely free. And this guide could save you hundreds of dollars a year. Okay, doctor, let's get right into your 7-day thrifty muscle building plan. Where do we start? What is the most important meal of the day when we are trying to fight back against muscle loss?
We must begin with the first meal of the day, what I call the rebuilding breakfast. As we have discussed, the morning is the time when your body is in a state of muscle breakdown after a long night of fasting. The food you eat first thing in the morning is the most important signal of the entire day. It is the signal that stops this breakdown process and starts the rebuilding process. This is the meal where so many people feel that they cannot afford to be healthy. I had a wonderful couple as my patients. They were both in their early 70s and were living on a fixed income from Social Security. They both told me that they were feeling weak and were losing their stamina year after year. They knew from watching our videos that they needed to eat more protein, but they told me with a sense of resignation, "Doctor, we look at the prices of fresh steak and salmon at the grocery store, and we just can't afford that every day." They felt that strength was a luxury that they could no longer buy. We created a new breakfast plan for them. It was a plan centered around 2 of the most affordable and powerful muscle-building foods in the entire grocery store: whole eggs and plain Greek yogurt. After just 1 month of starting their day with these simple foods, they came back to my office. The husband told me that he had the strength to work in his garden for an hour again. And the wife told me with a proud smile that she could now carry all of her own groceries in from the car without feeling tired. They were not spending more money. They were just spending it more wisely.
That is such an empowering story, and it is the perfect introduction to these 2 breakfast powerhouses. Let's talk about the first of those foods, the simple whole egg. Why is it such a perfect muscle-building breakfast for a senior?
It is the gold standard of protein. It is a complete protein. It is easy for an older person to digest, and it is incredibly nourishing for the entire body.
It really is. And the reason eggs are so powerful, especially for seniors, is their very high concentration of the essential amino acid leucine, particularly in the yolk. As we've discussed before on A Healthier Daily, leucine is the spark plug that ignites the mTOR pathway in your body, which is the direct signal that tells your muscles to start the process of protein synthesis or building. As we age and we can develop that anabolic resistance, we need a much stronger spark to get the engine started. The leucine in whole eggs provides that powerful spark. And of course, the yolk is also packed with vitamin D for muscle function and choline for healthy nerve communication. The study from the University of Illinois is very clear. You get a 40% greater muscle building response from eating the whole egg. And at around 20 cents per egg in many American supermarkets, it is one of the cheapest sources of the highest quality protein on the entire planet.
And the second breakfast powerhouse that this couple used to rebuild their strength is plain Greek yogurt. It is another excellent and very affordable choice.
Greek yogurt is unique because it contains that 2-in-1 protein combination. It has the fast-digesting whey protein, which gives your muscles an immediate supply of amino acids to stop that morning breakdown process. And then it has the slow-digesting casein protein, which provides a steady release of nutrients for hours afterward, keeping your muscles in a building state all morning long. And we cannot forget the probiotics. A healthy gut is essential for being able to absorb all the wonderful nutrients from your food. The live and active cultures in a good Greek yogurt support your gut health, which means you are actually getting more nutritional value out of everything else you eat throughout the day. It makes your entire diet work better for you.
And for their simple weekly plan, this couple would simply rotate between these two breakfasts. One morning, they would have 2 simple boiled or scrambled eggs. The next morning, they would have a bowl of plain full-fat Greek yogurt with a few berries that were on sale that week. It was a simple, delicious, and very affordable rhythm that completely transformed their strength and their confidence.
It is a beautiful example of how the most humble and blessed foods can often provide the most profound nourishment for our bodies. So, doctor, that is a fantastic and very affordable plan for our rebuilding breakfast using whole eggs and Greek yogurt. Now let's move to the middle of the day. What are the best, most affordable options for a quick and powerful lunch that will continue to build muscle and keep our energy levels stable?
For the midday meal, we need foods that are simple, very quick to prepare, and provide another strong protein pulse to maintain the muscle-building signal that we started in the morning. For this, we will again turn to the pantry aisle of the grocery store for our canned fish champions and one of our key plant-based pillars.
Let's start with the most popular of all, a true American classic, canned tuna.
Yes, canned tuna is a wonderful choice because it is almost pure lean protein. It is very affordable and it is incredibly convenient.
It really is. And the protein in tuna is what scientists call highly bioavailable. This is a scientific term that simply means your body can digest and absorb it with incredible efficiency. Studies have shown that even in older adults, the absorption rate for fish protein is over 90%. Now, the big question that people always have about tuna is about the mercury content. The FDA has been very clear and consistent on this topic. They advise that eating up to 12 ounces of low mercury fish per week is perfectly safe for adults. And canned light tuna, which is also the most affordable type, is on that low mercury list. By choosing chunk light and by rotating it with other healthy fish, you can get all of the incredible muscle-building benefits with minimal risk. And at around 1 mustard charge per can, you are paying less than 5 cents per gram of some of the highest quality protein you can buy.
Our second canned fish champion is one that is perhaps even more powerful than tuna. but it is less loved by many. It is the sardine. I know many people are hesitant because of the strong flavor, but I encourage you to try it. For a senior who wants to build muscle, these little fish are true nutritional powerhouses.
They are a perfect example of food synergy. First, you have the complete protein with all 9 essential amino acids. Second, you have a huge dose of the powerful anti-inflammatory omega-3 fatty acids. As we know, chronic low-grade inflammation can speed up the process of muscle loss, and the omega-3s in sardines help to protect the muscles from that inflammatory damage. And third, because you are eating the tiny, soft, edible bones, you are getting a massive and highly absorbable dose of calcium for your bone health. And as we always say, strong bones are the anchor for strong muscles.
For those who are hesitant about the flavor, I have a simple suggestion. Try mashing the sardines with half of a ripe avocado and a good squeeze of fresh lemon juice. This creates a wonderful creamy texture and a much milder flavor. It is delicious on a piece of whole grain toast.
That is a great tip to make sardines more approachable. Now, for the great plant-based option for a powerful lunch doctor, what is the pillar from the plant kingdom?
The great plant-based pillar for a simple and affordable lunch is the lentil. A warm bowl of a simple lentil soup is one of the most nourishing, satisfying, and muscle-supporting lunches a person can possibly eat.
And lentils are so much more than just protein and fiber. As the source material for our video points out, they are a fantastic source of plant-based iron. Mild iron deficiency is incredibly common in older adults, and it is a direct cause of the muscle weakness and deep fatigue that so many people experience. Iron is the blessed mineral that helps to create hemoglobin, the protein in your red blood cells that carries oxygen to all of your tissues, especially your muscles. Without enough iron, your muscles are literally being starved of the oxygen they need to work hard and to recover well. Lentils help to fill this critical nutritional gap.
So, a simple weekly plan for your lunches could be this. On Monday and Wednesday, you could have a simple tuna salad sandwich. On Tuesday and Thursday, you could have a warm bowl of the lentil soup that you prepared over the weekend. And on Friday, you could have some of those sardines mashed with avocado on a piece of toast. This gives your body a wonderful variety of different nutrients throughout the week to keep you strong.
This is so practical, Doctor. A full, affordable lunch plan for the entire week. We love sharing these real-world solutions with our community. To help us see our global community, please let us know what city, state, or country you're watching from. We love hearing from all of you. So we now have our rebuilding breakfasts and our quick and powerful lunches all planned out with these incredibly powerful and affordable foods. Doctor, let's talk about the final meals of the day. What are the best thrifty options for our recovery dinners and snacks?
For a wonderful, hearty, and incredibly affordable dinner, we now turn to our final plant-based pillar. It is the #1 most cost-effective protein source on the entire planet. It is the simple bag of dried beans. This can include black beans, kidney beans, pinto beans, any kind you enjoy. I must tell you the story of a patient of mine, a gentleman in his late 70s. He was living alone on a very fixed income from his Social Security checks, and he truly felt that he could not afford to eat a high-protein diet in order to stay strong. He was eating a lot of inexpensive white bread and pasta just to feel full, and as a result, he was becoming very weak. He believed that healthy, strong food was a luxury that he could no longer afford. We sat down together, and we created a new plan for him with a simple bag of dried beans as the foundation. I showed him how one large bag of dried black beans, which costs just a few dollars at the grocery store, could provide the protein for dozens of healthy and delicious meals. He started making a big pot of a simple bean soup or some beans and rice at the beginning of each week. He told me it was a complete game changer for both his health and for his finances. He felt stronger and more energetic than he had in years, and he was no longer filled with anxiety every time he went to the grocery store.
That is such an empowering story, Doctor. And let's be very clear on the science for our viewers. While most beans on their own are not technically a complete protein, your body is very intelligent. As you said in the source material, your body can combine the amino acids from the beans you eat at dinner with the amino acids from the grains like rice or toast that you might eat at other times during the day to create a complete protein inside your system. You do not even have to eat them in the same meal. And the value is simply unmatched. As you calculated, a 1-pound bag of dried beans for around $1.20 can provide about 12 servings of protein. That is just 10 cents per serving. It comes out to less than 1 cent per gram of high-quality protein. There is nothing else on earth that can compete with that incredible value.
And that brings us to the perfect recovery snack to have in the evening, a few hours after your dinner, before you go to bed. It is the cottage cheese that we discussed earlier in our breakfast section.
And this is so important for preventing that overnight muscle breakdown, which is when so much damage can happen. The casein protein in the cottage cheese, as we now know, is very slow digesting. It provides a steady 7 to 8 hour drip feed of amino acids to your muscles while you are sleeping. This is what protects them from being broken down for fuel during that long overnight fast. A small bowl of cottage cheese before bed is a powerful way to ensure that you wake up stronger, not weaker. Now, Doctor, this has been a full and incredibly affordable weekly plan. But I know for some seniors, especially those who might be living alone or who have arthritis in their hands, the idea of cooking a big pot of dried beans from scratch can sometimes feel like a lot of work. Can you give us some simple meal prep tips to make all of these affordable foods even more convenient?
A very practical and important question. The key is to do a small amount of simple work one time to make the rest of the week very easy. For beans and lentils on a Sunday afternoon, you can use a simple slow cooker. You simply put the beans or lentils in the pot with some water and some gentle seasonings, and you let the machine do all the work for a few hours. Then you can store the cooked beans in small containers in your refrigerator or even in your freezer for the whole week. For eggs at the beginning of the week, you can hard boil a half dozen eggs all at once. Keep them in the refrigerator. Now you have a perfect high-protein snack that is ready to grab at any time, with no cooking required at all. And for the canned fish, you can make a large batch of a healthy tuna or sardine salad mixture and keep it in a sealed container in the refrigerator. It will stay fresh and delicious for 2 to 3 days for easy sandwiches or to put on top of a green salad.
That is wonderful practical advice. It shows that with just a little bit of planning, a gift of our time and our attention, we can make these blessed, simple foods incredibly easy to enjoy. Doctor, this has been an incredible and very empowering guide. You have shown us all that fighting back against age-related muscle loss does not have to be expensive. You have proven that strength does not have to be a luxury. You've given us a complete, smart and thrifty protein guide featuring the dairy powerhouses, the canned fish champions, the superstar egg, and the incredibly affordable plant-based pillars. This is a complete budget-friendly strategy that anyone can use to combat sarcopenia. What is so hopeful about this is that this approach to managing muscle loss is truly accessible to everyone, no matter their income. This is not about buying expensive powders or fancy cuts of meat. It is about using wise nutritional strategies with simple foods to fight sarcopenia. For anyone watching who is worried about their strength, this guide shows that you can prevent sarcopenia with the simple, affordable foods found in any local grocery store.
I want to leave everyone with this one final thought. Do not be fooled by fancy labels and high prices. The most powerful nourishment for your body is often the most simple and the most humble. Be consistent with these wonderful, affordable foods, and your body will thank you with strength and with vitality.
That is the perfect message to end with, Doctor. The most powerful nourishment is often the most humble. It's a wonderful reminder that we have been blessed with these simple and affordable gifts from the earth to keep our bodies strong. And of course, the wisest first step is always to speak with your personal doctor or a registered dietitian to create a protein plan that is right for your specific health needs, especially if you have any pre-existing kidney issues. Please remember that our conversation today is for educational purposes. If you found this guide empowering and helpful, please give this video a like so that others can find this vital money-saving information. And be sure to share it with a friend or family member who might be worried about the cost of staying healthy. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. It is completely free and it ensures you will not miss our next practical health guide. And for our community discussion today, we would love to know, what is your favorite affordable, high-protein food from our list that you plan to eat this week? Sharing your meal ideas in the comments is a great way to inspire our entire community. Thank you for being with us. Be well and be strong.